Every aspect of a person's life has the potential to bring forth their unique destiny and calling. If you are not compelled to make a huge splash, establish a monumental structure, materialize a monumental event, or build a monumental enterprise, then you are not a frequency holder. Instead, a frequency bearer is someone who finds joy in the little things, doing them with love, attention, and most importantly, presence. Someone who is physically present while tending a garden or making crafts could be a frequency bearer. Anyone this person comes into contact with becomes a part of their area of presence, even if it's just in a limited capacity. These folks are crucial. A large portion of your audience may identify as frequency holders. People that possess frequencies find it tough in our society as we aren't set up to properly acknowledge them. There were millions of people in the Middle Ages who followed the path of a hermit, monk, or nun, since being a frequency holder was a highly respected profession. However, it is no longer the case as of late. As a result of the closure of many monasteries, those who hold the frequency of presence are scrambling to find new homes for it. Being there has an impact on everyone around you, and when you maintain that level of presence, it doesn't matter if your actions have lost their significance. What counts most is the awareness that underlies it. Because all humans are interconnected on a fundamental level, the actions of one have an impact on the whole, making this person's impact felt by far more individuals than meets the eye. A collective human mind does in fact exist. Just what was being asked? Indeed, existence. Going beyond just holding frequencies, he is now training to be a life coach. He feels a mix of emotions, appreciative and delighted, as well as a little frightened and nervous. Am I prepared for this? Is a common concern. Do I feel prepared to assist others who seek my advice? You are likely unprepared, even if you believe you are. You might be ready, even if you don't feel prepared, if you know how to break free of your limitations and transform into an aperture or a state of unadulterated awareness. Assuming you sit with another person, when you sit with another person, you become fully conscious. Being a life coach or counselor may have taught you specific methods. There are different modalities, and you've likely had training. Since there is a wide range of techniques to psychotherapy and counseling, you will make an effort to apply the modality that you were taught. You won't be effective with just that, though. Your level of success may be low, and when you ask, "Am I ready?" you're really asking if you've really grasped the modality they taught you. You may respond with, "Well, I'm ready because I know exactly how it works." It's a reasonable question. However, your learnt and applied modality is not the true thing in this case. Not that you shouldn't use it, in fact you should. Just keep in mind that the significance of the modality's foundation is far greater. This is true even in intellectually rigorous modalities, such as psychoanalysis, which is quite organized. You study the components, and it continues for years. The ability to sit quietly and offer one's undivided attention to another person is a skill that some psychoanalysts acquire while practicing their modality. Eventually, individuals stop identifying with the modality and may even stop using it altogether. When they shift from being an individual sitting next to the other to a field of awareness or presence, they start to make a real difference. Your presence must be evident in the modalities you employ, but you may discover that, with practice, you employ a comparatively little portion of your knowledge. A realization dawns on you. It's not necessary. When you give your undivided attention, the perfect words will flow. Just like Socrates, who never pretended to have the answer. but rather used questioning as a jumping-off point for a collaborative search for knowledge, by tapping into the realm of presence and awareness, you will find yourself asking questions. You can listen to someone, some call them clients, some call them patients, and some don't even bother to use a name, if you can sit with them in a state of pure awareness. One must first listen before asking a question. If all goes according to plan, the other person can join you without you even saying a word. We can do without that. When one person enters a condition of presence, the other person does not even realize it. While sitting there, you both contribute to a field of presence, and from that, insights and healing can develop. The reason I said, if you think you're ready, you probably are not, is that when you feel prepared, you can think, now I know enough, and I can do it. You may be very knowledgeable, but it won't make you an effective counselor or therapist, just because that sounds good and you have confidence in yourself. That requires more than just knowledge. While it might be beneficial, being fully present is what brings about genuine change and healing. Knowing a few ways can be good, I agree. The central component of several modalities is presence, but they might not use that term. Some people view those methods of psychotherapy as deeply spiritual. I think one of these books is Carl Rogers' Modality, though I haven't read it in a long time. He believes that paying close attention and accepting the patient no matter what is the most important thing a patient can do. The key to unconditional love is paying attentively, without passing judgment or assigning labels to the person or their situation. From what I've heard from some who have tried Rogerian therapy, some of its adherents found it tedious as the therapist remained silent throughout. So, it appears that you can't actually teach it, even though they can. There are therapists who truly embody it, and then there are some who learn it as give attention, don't judge, but who still struggle to be fully present while they're counseling. You then naturally humanize yourself. You pay attention without passing judgment. All right, enough is enough. When is the following meeting? This holds true regardless of the situation. While some of you may not have official training as spiritual teachers, many of you are currently doing just that in your own fields. It is likely that a large number of people will take up roles as spiritual instructors, whether your spiritual teaching begins with bodywork, counseling, or something else entirely, like nutritional advice. It is critical to constantly keep in mind where it all begins. When you're in a relationship, you need to tap into your consciousness. To have an impact, you are not required to be completely enlightened or awake. It works, but you can get the job done without it. A lot of the helpful folks I've encountered are really good at what they do. They provide 110% when they're collaborating with someone, but their attention wanders when they return to their regular personal lives. If their coworkers overhear them becoming angry with their bank manager or someone, they may wonder, this great person who I thought was so enlightened is getting upset. Even the most dedicated educators and caregivers may have personal struggles, as this small example demonstrates. But when used as a tool for instruction or healing, they can still work wonders. On a grand scale, there are spiritual instructors who can have a profound impact. If you were to witness them in their personal lives, though, you could exclaim, "Oh my God!" The one and only risk would be if the ego started interfering with their personal lives. Ego may intrude and taint instruction at some point throughout a teaching environment. This is extremely risky, because when teachings become entangled with ego, followers or listeners lose the ability to discern truth from falsehood. The situation is common and has occurred with multiple educators. It has been acknowledged by a few of them. According to them, I'm no longer teaching because I realized my ego has been interfering too much. You have to be really present to notice this. If I were to say something like, "If you leave me and don't come back to the next retreat, you'll be completely lost," it could be a sign that my proud self is starting to show. Once you hear me declare, "I am the greatest teacher who has ever lived and ever will live," you will understand my predicament and be free to depart. Remember to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to receive other ideas that can shed light on the way to understanding love, relationships, and the deeper layers of your own awareness. Our suffering can be transformed into wisdom, and we can find the love that originates from inside if we work together. I appreciate you taking the time to watch, and I hope to see you in the future video.